Hello. So, I might have ended up buying the new GeForce 4090, but I still have my board kidneys left, so I guess that's a good thing. Still, I want to know how it runs DCS World. I guess you want to know how it runs DCS World, so I think we just need to start the game and see. This isn't going to be an in-depth technical review, but just a quick flight around the block and see what the FPS counter is telling us. The big boys in DCS Finland Discord group told me that the Caucasus Radeon RAM could be used as at least somewhat standardized test case, so here I am. And I think without further ado, let's just get this thing in the air and see how my frame rates look. Also, I think it's worth mentioning I don't have any previous test data or anything like that available at the moment. I just forgot to get any forgot to track my FPS data with my previous setup. I used to have Radeon RX 7680x1440 XT, and based on my experience I would have to say that I had to tone down a few details and couldn't run everything at ultra to get kind of playable FPS in game, but for now this seems to be working quite nicely here. And if I do some stuff wrong, it's actually I haven't had a chance to play DCS for several weeks, and I'm just kind of starting with everything out, so if nothing is going perfectly here. For example, I actually don't remember where I have my flaps assigned here, but I don't think it matters in this case. So when we're in the ground, I think we're getting something like almost 60 frames per second, and while flying here it's hovering around 60, and I do have all the settings pretty much maxed out, so this is basically looking as it can be without any additions like any mods or anything like that. But I think the test here is to just fly as close to ground as possible and see what's happening. Okay, so it's actually pretty good, 75, almost 80 frames per second even when flying low. The biggest challenge with my setups naturally is the resolution here. So if you kind of check out the stats here, the CPU is running actually at 20% and the GPU at 100%. Other than that, the GPU memory, RAM memory and everything else is not even close to full, so at the moment the bottleneck really is the GPU for me if I would like to get any better frames, but if it stays around 60 frames per second I will be quite happy. Okay, so I'm leveling out somewhere here around 15,000 feet. I guess this is, let's just put the autopilot on and fly around here a bit higher altitude, and naturally a bit less breeze around here, and it's already hovering around 80 frames per second, so it's looking quite good here. And also, if you actually have watched my first DCS video, you might notice I have the track IR here. I used to have Tbilisi tracker. It was a good device, but to be honest, for my setup the track IR feels much better. Okay, what I ended up doing here is just generated a quick mission without any enemy planes, just to kind of test it out, and also added some clouds here to see how that affects performance. I think what we could do here is just get a bit lower to see what the clouds doesn't really seem to be doing that much, at least this
altitude.
Lower clouds here still running over 60 frames per second even flying through them in low altitude. Just releasing the big city, but the Caucasus, well, basically at the moment I only have the free maps available, so that's why I'm trying these things out. I think if there's anything I can say regarding this stuff is that basically it's giving me 60 frames per second when I'm flying really low in more densely populated areas, and it basically rises to 80 frames per second when I'm flying a bit higher, which at least for me and for this simulator gameplay is completely acceptable. Also, the outside view naturally affects the frame rate just a bit, so it drops somewhere around 50, but this is in no way bad frame rate, at least for me. I think I have some kind of DOF settings here, but not the Gaussian, just simple blur here. Okay, I guess I'm flying over Tbilisi now, or how did you pronounce it, and this is a bit more crowded area, still looking good. Still hovering well over 60 frames per second. There's a runway on the left hand side, so I guess I'm just trying to land this. Probably not going to end too well because I'm not really good with doing the proper pattern landing here. I might have would have been better to just take some distance and try to land straight down, but let's see if we can bring this thing down in one piece. I might be coming in a bit too low, but let's see if I can still align us with runway and do a nice landing. Okay, now it's starting to look good. Now just with the throttle. This might end up being a kind of overcorrection. I guess that was much better landing than in my last video, and when it comes to the performance, I'm quite satisfied because the wide resolution, this is something like, this is exactly 7680x1440, is over 10% more pixels than in 4K resolution. So it has been quite demanding, and with my previous card Radeon RX 6800 XT, I wasn't able to, I had to tone down some settings. I just see if I have a screenshot of those. But this test was with everything maxed out that I was able to find, and it was quite nice. More DCS content will be coming in the future. For now, I'm concentrating on finishing my new cockpit. You really should check out that series if you're interested in building stuff. And if you're interested in this stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.